Hi, it's Maija here with another book haul revisit video. In these videos I will go through the books from my old book hauls and tell you which ones I still have left unread and what I thought about the ones that I have read. This time we will go through my book hauls from 2015 because I only filmed 2 book hauls during the whole of 2015, so I can do the year 2015 in one video. So in my first haul video of 2015, the first thing that I hauled was a box set of Jane Austen's complete novels, and I had read all of those novels at the time that I bought the box set, so those are read. And here's one book from the box set that is Persuasion, because I didn't want to pick up the whole box set because with my luck I would break it or something. But this is what the books look like. They are all different colors. And the reason why I picked this book up to show you is because this one has Lady Susan, and I actually haven't read Lady Susan, so that's the only thing from this box set that I still have left unread. And the next book I haven't read, and that is Prudence by Gail Carriger. And this is a continuation, a new series in her Parasol Protectorate universe. So the first series was Parasol Protectorate, and I think this one is called The Custard Protocol. Oh yeah, so silly names. I really like this series, but I haven't read this one because I started to read it and then I realized I didn't remember enough of what had happened at the very end of the last series. So there are some recurring characters and I didn't really remember the things that were alluded to. So I decided that I need to reread the first series before I start reading this series, and that was in 2015 and it's now 2018, and so far I've only reread the first book, Soulless. So that's a bit sad. I still need to reread the 4 other books before I can get to this one. The next book in that haul was the hardcover of Uprooted by Naomi Novik, which I liked enough when I read it, but I have since sold it to someone else because I didn't like it enough to keep hanging on to it, even though the hardcover was really beautiful. But that one is gone. And the last 3 things in that first book haul I had already read by the time that I filmed that haul. So those were More Fool Me by Stephen Fry, which is the 3rd one of his series of autobiographies or memoirs. And I didn't like this one. The first 2 in this series I liked, but not this one. I just haven't unhauled it yet. Then the last 2 things were a couple of comics. The first one was the first volume of The Wicked and the Divine by Kieran Gillen and Jane McKelvey, The Forced Act. And I do like this series and I really love the art of this series, and that one was already read by the time I filmed, as was this one, Rat Queens Volume 2, The Far-Reaching Tentacles of Nrigoth by Curtis J. Weber. I quite like this one, even though I have fallen out of love a bit with Rat Queens later on, but I liked this back when I read it. Now moving on to the second and final haul of 2015. It was mostly graphic novels and graphic trades, but also a couple of books. The first thing that I showed in that was Nimona by Noel Stevenson, which is a fantasy graphic novel, and I had read this as a webcomic before it was published and I just wanted to own a copy, so I have read this one. Then one of my all-time favorite Marvel comics, the first volume of Young Avengers by Kieran Gillen and Jane McKelvey, Volume 1, Style Over Substance. I picked this one up. I had read this before from my sister, who also owns this series, and it's about this group of younger superheroes. Most of them are about 17 or so, and I really love this one. It is from the same writer and artist as The Wicked and the Divine, so the art is gorgeous once again. Speaking about Wicked and the Divine, I also bought the 2nd volume of that, Fandemonium. I liked it. I have read it. I also hold Gotham Academy Volume 1, Welcome to Gotham Academy, which is this series set in the DC universe with these teens who are going to Gotham Academy. So it features new characters, but also characters from the Batman comics a lot. I really like this first one. I have the first 3, but I haven't yet continued with the 2nd semester that is going on right now. This comic also has a crossover with Lumberjanes that I haven't read yet, but that sounds very interesting. The only thing from that haul that I have since unhauled was Batgirl Volume 1, Batgirl of Burnside by Cameron Stewart, Brendan Fletcher and Babs Starr. I really didn't gel with the story of this. It felt a bit too simple, but I really loved the art, but I have since sold this. And then onto the actual books. The first of those was The Martian by Andy Weir, which I bought on sale, and I have read this. I liked it, but I am planning to unhaul it since I don't think I want to read it again. I did find the main character to be a bit annoying, but the book in itself and the writing style was really fun. And the final two books from that haul were books 2 and 3 in a trilogy. They were Honor's Knight and Heaven's Queen by Rachel Bach. This is the Paradox trilogy. And I have read Honor's Knight, but I still haven't read Heaven's Queen, which is a bit sad since I have forgotten a lot about the first and second books. So I really need to get a bit of a refresher, maybe leaf through the books if I want to read this one. I don't know why it has been so long, why I had such a long pause between the second and third books, but I still need to read this one. So I didn't buy a lot in 2015, and I have done very well with reading those books that I bought in 2015. Out of them I only have 2.5, I would say, left unread. So unread I have Heaven's Queen, Prudence, and the Lady Susan part from this book, which is Persuasion with Lady Susan tacked to the end. I'm not sure how long it is. It is... okay, so it's like this part of the book is Lady Susan, so it's more of a novella length thing. So I will read that quite soon, I think, to get my Jane Austen box set completely read. I'm very happy with how this book haul revisit went. I have read most of that stuff, but next we're gonna move on to 2016. I think I hauled a lot more books in 2016. So stay tuned for that, I guess. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!